Please, Adrian.
We're here. We're doing it.
After
Once again.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gearing up for your next project, full-length project this time, For the Plot.
Mm-hmm.
It's been some time. It's been 3 years since Letters to You, right?
Yeah.
How's the last 3 years been for you, and why do you feel like now was the right time to kind of pull the trigger on the next one?
The last 3 years, I would say, has been a lot of ups and downs. 3 years ago, I was still like dating like somebody, and it was with that album that was for that person. Now that I'm not even like with them anymore, now I'm a completely different person. You know what I mean? I've been through a lot in the last like 3 years, but I think overall I've been through a lot in just life. I think that everybody has. You know what I mean? It just felt right to have this project out now because I feel like I was honestly ready now. Like, I don't think I've been making the best music up until I was ready is to put this album out. And that's being completely honest with you. Like, I think I'll make one or two songs. I'm like, oh yeah, that's good. But in order to make a complete project, I have to, have a bunch, and then I have to narrow it down. And I just wasn't in that like type of mode for the last 3 years.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you touched on the Letters to You situation, and like, you said you're in a relationship then, kind of ended. Do you feel like a breakup like that, do you think it changed you? Do you feel like it kind of influenced not only who you are as a person now, but what type of music you're making?
Yeah. That breakup helped me though. Like, I think that really made me look back and be like, wow, like she did help me a lot. Like, yes, it didn't work, but like she did help me be a like better man. And then off of that, how I made, like, it was just like music. It was just more like deeper because I actually went through, it was just like something real. It was just like actual person, you know what I mean? So yeah. I think that it actually did help.
No,
honestly.
for sure. I mean, I feel like you kind of touched on that, especially with, I forgot the exact line, but it's, you're the villain and you're okay with that. Is that something that kind of like that taught you? That you're okay with being the bad guy?
I'm all right with being, it's this villain, but that song is not even for her. I think there's multiple people in my life that could see me as this like villain. And I think in this album, like I think I'm actually like owning up to it. And it's like almost like, hey, sucks that it happened, but shit happens. I don't think I'm gonna always be this like hero in everybody's life. Like, that's just not possible. But if I'm that villain, I'm gonna own up to it. Sorry, but I think I'm all right with it too.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good realization because you can't make everybody happy.
Can't.
It literally is impossible. I mean, just business-wise too, the last 3 years, I know you've been through a lot. We kind of touched on it last year when we were talking about Fortunately, but what have you learned on that end throughout your music career since 2022? I feel like it seems, 3 years isn't that long, but so much happens. You know what I'm saying?
It is. I would still say it's the exact same thing as I said like last year. It's just knowing that these like labels, they have like jobs. You know what I mean? Like, there is really no one that is gonna take any risk. It's with this artist that's not that like jumping yet. You have to build, it's just like buzz, and then like they're gonna hop on you. And that's what they did. It was with my homie like EKE. Like, it's with that like Ghetto song. There was really like no labels that were hitting them up until it was like really like going viral, and we were like front row. It's for really like all of that. You know what I mean? So it's the exact same like shit I was saying from like last year, really.
Right.
Yeah.
That brings me to a good question that you kind of touched on in your teaser. I think it was one of the first teasers you dropped for the album. You kind of were talking about you're in this weird in-between area between not being an unknown artist, but obviously not being a big artist, right? How does that kind of like affect you mentally? Does it affect you mentally? And what do you do to kind of fight through that?
Half of me is a little bit like frustrated because I will like see those who will take like, like shit from me, and then they'll pop like with it. And I'm like, damn, like that, like sucks a lot. And then it's at the like same fucking time, I'm like this like hidden freaking gem. It's that if you do like find me, like most people are like always fans. It's from like there. I'm at the point now where I think I know that like this is gonna like work for me. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm not really worried about what my like future is with like music. Like it's just because I have like that much faith that it's just gonna work now. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
How do you think you can get past that barrier to kind of get to the next level?
I think every artist has that exact same thought in their head. Like, how am I personally have no idea how I'm gonna get to the next level. I have this theory of I just make a lot of like friendships, and I just know it's like the right people. I think I'm gonna become like friends. It's with like somebody, or I'm gonna like meet. It's this one like dude, and it'll just work after. But it's just a little theory. I don't really have any. But I think it was that exact question is what everybody asked themselves. Like, how am I gonna do it? And especially because there is not the same lane for like each and every artist. You know what I mean? Like, they all have to pop in their own ways. So I don't know if my lane is gonna be yet. I'm hoping this is the album though that is gonna make me pop, but I don't know. You never know.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think you got it right, man. I think as long as you're continuing to put yourself out there and network, you know, and making good music, then it really is inevitable.
Yeah.
You know, the only thing stopping you is if you quit.
Yeah, honestly.
So, but yeah, getting into the album now, just kind of sonically and what it sounds like, it's definitely. I think I said this last year, but I got to keep saying it. You get better with every single one. Every single one sounds way more mature.
Yeah.
More cohesive, more like a real project.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This one has a bit of like, you still touch on the classic like West Coast R&B sound, but you also have some 2000s like R&B feels to it, like exclusive. Like that shit is hard, bro. How did you get into that lane? Was it intentional? Just how did you get into that?
It was definitely not intentional as I was making. It was those like songs, but as I realized, I was just like, I think it was at like one point I was just like listening. It was to just all of my like unreleased, and I just realized like, hey, like these like certain songs are actually really good. Like I don't even mind if they just make it. You know what I mean? With exclusive, I just heard the beat and I was like, this is gonna go on something. Like it has to be put out. As soon as I got that feature back from Maynard, I was like, this is a banger. And then as of recently, I've been like sending, it was like that like link. It was with like certain like people, and everybody always says exclusive in their like top 3. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like it's gonna make the album then, like 1,000,000%.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, just to name some of my favorites, is definitely like exclusives up there. Call Maria, that was crazy. Hidden in the Hills and Take You There.
Yeah.
Is there any ones that you gravitate towards too more naturally, or you feel like are really gonna go?
On the Way is my personal favorite, but I think that one is gonna go like unnoticed. Like I think it'll be one of those like low key like sleepers. Maria is the one I think is a great like track. Like I think that's a great like record. And I think that song feels it's the most like an album song. You know what I mean? Like it's like really like one of those deep cuts. But I'm not gonna hear it as I'm outside anywhere. Like you have to like love it's that like type of like music. And I think I hit that nail. Like it was on the head. It was with that song.
No, for sure. I mean, those are one of those songs like all the other ones I listened to. It's like they're the most mature sounding I feel like you've had. You know, it really shows your development as an artist. And kind of to touch on like that, you know, the classic 2000 or not the classic R&B West Coast sound. Do you feel like that's something you're always going to be doing, or do you feel like you want to grow past that, or do you always want to pay homage to it?
I think I'm gonna always want to do something with it, and I think it's just because I was born out here, and it's just like naturally I just love it's that like it's just that like sound, but I don't like want to be put in that West Coast box forever, so I'm not gonna always have to do it though, you know.
Yeah, I feel that. So last year I think one of your goals was to get on a tour. right? Which you finally did.
Yeah.
With Nueve Leo.
Leo, yeah.
So let's talk about that experience and how you built that relationship to get on that.
I think this goes back a couple years. I'm not even sure when, but he was actually, it was a like fan of me first. Later down the road, I think we met at a like show, and we just like talked. And I was like, oh shit, hey, I know you too, cool. And then from there, I just like look up and he's like popping, and I'm like, wait, like how though? Like, you know what I mean? He has a fan base of all Asians, which is a great fan base to even have. So on this tour, I've never seen this many Asian people in one room, but it was beautiful though. Like it was just like nuts that like they, you know, it was just like artists it's that they can all look up to, and they're not that much younger. It was then, you know, him. Also, his fans are the best fans to have if you are a like opener. I would say that one of the worst things as an opener on somebody's tour is if the like audience is not like messing with you. It was like that crowd is the complete opposite. Like they are responsive. If I say that, hey, you guys have to yell this, they're gonna yell it back, and they yell back everything, and they want to shake your hand, but they don't even know who you are. So it was a great tour. Yeah. And I want to say this, I have to give him hella props because it was a whole like sold out tour like weeks before it even like happened, and I was like, that's nuts. Like I don't really hear that often from, you know, like artists that aren't big yet, you know. So yeah.
No, I mean, I think that's amazing, but I think it was cool that you were able to get on it. Yeah. I mean, me personally, I found out about him through you being on that tour.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, and I mean, I became a fan. So I'm sure a lot of people were able to do the same on the reverse end, where they became a fan of you.
For sure.
Because it looked like you went crazy every time you performed.
It was fun, bro.
Which was dope, man.
Yeah.
And obviously he's featured on the project as well. How was doing that, finally working with him? Was that a real natural thing?
Oh, it was super natural. And he had sent back his verse, I want to say in like a couple days. And that's rare for, it was a like artist that is as busy as he is. Like he actually like sent it back fast, and I was like, yeah, this is going on the album, by the way. Like, yeah, it was just perfect.
Nice, man. So yeah, I mean, like I said about the music, I think it's probably your best project to date.
Yep.
You know, not only musically though, but the rollout, the visuals have been crazy.
Thanks.
They've been cohesive. They're really clean. It seems like they're kind of delivering a message, one concise message. It seems very intentional. Definitely. So what kind of message are you trying to send with this project?
With this message, I was definitely looking, like it was just to make everybody know, like, hey, like this is a legit artist. Like he's not some little like local rapper. Like this is an artist. I don't really see a lot of artists do real like rollouts. You know what I mean? Like I don't see anybody really do rollouts unless like you're already, you know, like signed and you're big. So it was with this, I had a lot of people like hitting me like, hey, so were you like signed yet? I'm like, nah, like I'm not like signed yet. So I just want everybody, like it was just to like look at me now and be like, okay, you're like the real deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely. It comes across that way. It feels like, I mean, you do have a team, but it feels like you have like a label like, status team, you know, but you're doing it, you know, with you and your people. The title too, For the Plot, it definitely feels very on brand for you.
Definitely. And with the four,
Exactly. For the Plot, and I feel like you are the type of person, you know, from the outside looking in that kind of just like, just goes with the flow and just does
shit for the plot,
And I feel you, and I feel like as a fellow For the Plot type of person, I know that it gets you not only into some really fun situations, but
some bad ones,
some weird situations.
Of course,
so what does doing it for the plot mean to you, and what are some pros and cons of like living that lifestyle?
For me, I don't want anybody to like think I'm like doing shit so that it makes a good like story. It's just like more of I'm just open to whatever happens, and at the end of the day, it'll make for a good plot at the end of the day. I think that as I get older and I have kids, I can like let them know all of the shit that I've done, and they'll be like, this is a wild person, and this is my dad now.
Yeah.
But like this is like a wild person, but like you're gonna learn off of that. You know what I mean? So, yeah. That's what the
Yeah.
album
Now
means to me.
the dad lore is gonna go crazy.
The
That's for
dad
sure.
lore is gonna go nuts because I'm gonna be so calm at that point too.
I mean, yeah. I was gonna ask too. Like, do you feel like yourself ever getting calm? Is that even something that you can fathom right now?
Yeah, but not till like maybe like mid-30s. And yeah, I think my mid-30s. I've been outside since I was like 15, 16. So now each and every year I just see like maybe like something different, or I see, like something new. I'm not rich yet. So like maybe like life is gonna do completely like something wild, like, like as soon as I am rich. But like as far as right now, I think I'm gonna plan for like my mid to early like 30s to be like, all right, guys, like I'm not gonna go out anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows, bro? You might end up on the future timeline, or you're 40 still doing it.
Yeah, but he's getting paid to go out though.
That is
So that's the
true,
other
yeah.
difference too.
So yeah, For the Plot drops ASAP soon.
March
By the
7th?
time this comes
Yeah.
out.
Oh, yeah.
So you're gonna be to the next day. After this rollout, after you got settled with this project, what's the rest of 2025 look like for you, goals wise?
I personally want to have my own tour. That's what I'm looking for. I don't think I'm gonna do some 6-month long tour. Obviously not. I think I want to do like a month long one, and just do like it was just like weekend dates. But that's what I like really like want to do, and just shoot like videos and just make sure that the album gets the push like it like it's that it like needs.
Perfect, man.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's all I had, bro. I feel like, congratulations on the new project.
Thank you.
I love it. I think your fans are going to love it.
Yeah.
I think it shows a new level of 4L Javi, and I can't wait for it to be out there.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you.